is the same in everyone. It doesn't change. There's nothing that you can do with it. So we don't discuss that. What is of essence? What makes the difference in performance is your mind and intellect. The mind is the realm of feelings, emotions, likes and dislikes, impulse. It's the irrational aspect in you. If you question yourself and ask yourself, why do I feel this way, and you have no answer to it, it means it's clearly the mind. And intellect is the realm of reason, discrimination, judgment, discernment. It's the rational aspect in you. So when you ask why, you have a clear, logical answer. So these two instruments in you function all the time. And often there is conflict between the two because the mind by nature, the thoughts are in a scattered state, confused. The intellect is in a gathered state, determined. The mind is, when emotions start playing up, your thinking gets blurred, foggy. The intellect is clear, crystal clear and sharp. Atman is the life-giving principle in all of us. So, Atman is that in us which is 100% objective. It just watches. Atman functions in a sinner and saint alike. It is wholly available to the sinner, wholly available to the saint, wholly available to all of us. We are all in between. But it has nothing to do with the actions of the sinner, the saint, or any one of us. It merely observes. It's a facilitator, it's an enabler, but it has nothing to do with the quality of actions. Just as fuel is the same in all cars, but the performance depends on the engine, not the fuel. Electricity is the same in all gadgets. Performance depends on the equipment through which electricity functions, not electricity. Now, so basically, body, mind and intellect are matter, Atman is spirit. So you and I are composed of matter and spirit. Now let's take an example. Suppose you take a horseshoe magnet and bring an iron piece towards the magnet. What happens? It is attracted, it's influenced, it's affected by the magnet. Take away the iron piece and bring a piece of wood to the magnet. No effect. The magnet does not have the power to influence the wood. Now do something interesting. Tie the iron and wooden pieces together and bring the combination to the magnet. The combination is attracted, influenced. But even when the combination is attracted, the wooden piece in that combination is still immaculate, untouched by the magnet. You and I are like that. We are a combination of matter and spirit. The magnet is this powerful world that has an influence. It affects, it attracts your body, mind and intellect. Because body, mind and intellect are matter, world is matter, matter influences matter. Matter cannot influence spirit. So what Krishna means by wrong identification is, if only you were to shift your identification from the body, mind and intellect to Atman, the same world which is traumatizing you today will not then be a source of entertainment. That's all you have to do. You don't have to change the world around you. Many people come to a gathering like this and go back and call me the next day and say, you know, whatever you said was perfect for my husband. Completely missed the point. The fundamental point is you can't change anyone around you, and the last person on earth that you can change is your husband or wife. So don't even try it. All you need to do is not even change yourself, just shift your identification. And then the world has no effect on you. It loses its power over you. So, in the composition Atma Shatkam. It's a reassertion of the truth, which is, I am not this body, I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not these 5 elements, I am Atma. And if you repeat this to yourself, by God it works. Try it. Vedanta is an experimental science. See, if you really become Atman, then of course it has no effect, zero effect. But even temporarily, if you shift your attention, it works. When you are in pain, let's say you get burned, you have a pain in the neck, I mean literally, not figuratively. Actual pain in the neck, suffering. Shift your attention from the body to something else. Concentrate on something else. And you won't even feel the pain. Try it. You shift, let's say somebody's hurt you, deliberately has said something nasty to you. Use your intellect. If a certified mad person were to come and start shouting at you, would you get affected? Will you get upset? Will you lose sleep over it? No. But what we need to understand is, any person who comes and shouts at you or says something nasty to you is in shades of insanity. So is speaking out of some problem inside. If you are to recognize that, use your intellect and say, well, maybe the fellow is in a bad mood. Maybe the guy has had a fight with his boss. I don't know what's wrong with him. But I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, so I got it. You don't get affected. So these are ways of not getting affected. But the ultimate thing is, shift your attention from body, mind, intellect to Atma, and you'll be totally free. Like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, suffering from cancer of the throat. Vivekananda broke down. But he looked at him and said, "What are you fool? What are you crying for? Don't you see that I'm not suffering? You eat and I'm fulfilled." Ramana Maharshi went through an entire surgical procedure. Didn't feel it. That is not the exclusive privilege of just a handful of enlightened people. That is the birthright of every one of us. Yes, you may not get it that easily. It may be difficult, but it's not impossible. Also, you may not get it wholly. You may not be 100% there, but at least you can be free from the daily ups and downs that are bothering you, petty little things that are affecting. So, in Atma Shatkam, it says, Mano Buddhya Hankara Chittani Naham Nacha Shrotra Jibhe Nacha Grana Netre Nacha Vyoma Bhumir Natejo Navayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. There was a time in our country when every child was brought up on these ideas, when every teenager had this knowledge to fall back on, and that is what helped them to stand up against the temptations that come up before us. Today, there is no such thing. So you are not empowering yourself, you are not empowering the next generation with the capacity to withstand all this. And with a world that is full of temptation, full of distractions, and a weak intellect, no enrichment from within, and affluence on top of it, it's a deadly combination. So you are sitting there smug in the belief that I have saved up enough for the next 3 generations or 10 generations. What have you done? You've only given them enough ammunition to destroy themselves. So, even if you don't have much assets, worldly assets, but you have this inner enrichment, you will be more than fulfilling your obligation as a parent, as an adult, as a mature citizen of this wonderful culture of ours, where the whole world looks up to us as a spiritual country. The first time when I went to South Africa, where there was apartheid and still there were no relations between the two countries, people looked upon us as goddesses from the mother country, and I said, I hope you never come to the mother country and see what a mess we're in. Even today, when we travel abroad, people look upon us as a spiritual country. Where are we? More materialistic than the rest of them. So, the inner personality. The mind in you is that which gets involved and attached. It is the intellect that has the capacity to remain objective, to be impartial. So that intellect must kick in every experience. If someone is nasty to you, or within you, you know, most of us are a factory of negativity. Some negative thought comes to you, immediately bring the intellect in and squash it. There's a saying in medicine, cauterize it. Press the delete button on your negativity. But if you don't have that and you allow the mind to have its way, you end up with a toxic mind. So when the intellect is greater than the mind, only then are you capable of being objective, unbiased, unprejudiced. Otherwise, you get totally involved and you're lost. So the intellect is of utmost importance. And that's the one thing that we are not taught about anywhere in the world. Nowhere in the world does a school have a program of intellectual development. Nowhere in the world does a university teach you that you need a powerful intellect to just live life normally. No parent teaches that because they don't know. No government teaches it. And there is this tremendous source of human energy and potential that lies completely wasted. Because all that we do with our energies is use it to destroy ourselves. That's why the Upanishads call us suicidal. Therefore, use your existing intellect. Before you embark on at least an important thing, before you shoot your mouth off, think, is this what I ought to be doing? If somebody says this to me, how would I feel? What are the repercussions? There's no thinking at all. It's just say whatever comes to your mind. And strengthen that intellect. There are times when that intellect is not strong enough. It's available, but it's not strong. Like in an alcoholic, every alcoholic or drug addict knows he should not be doing what he's doing. There's something in him that the mind has its way. That's all that you have to do. There's no point sending him to rehab. He goes to rehab, comes out, the day he comes out of there, straight hits the bottle. Because the intellect is not strengthened. And unfortunately, it is the good guys who get hit. So, it's not easy. You can't do it by yourself. You need help. You remember in the past, the kings had in-house full-time gurus that were available to them 24/7. Any problem they had, any issue that they had to resolve, even about how do I bring up my children, they consulted them. Today, there's no awareness of help, and therefore we are where we are. So we have a wealth of spiritual information. You need to recharge your batteries. You recharge your cell phones every day. Your mind needs recharging. Your mind needs to shake off all the negativities that you've collected during the day, and you need to recharge yourself with positive thoughts. And then you need to reflect over these positive thoughts. Let them churn in your mind. Take action on them, experiment with them. Integrate them into your life and see how you become a changed person. I often say, give yourself 1 year of exposure to these thoughts, 1 hour a day, and you'll be a changed person. Recently, in April, I met a man in New York who came all the way to 100% Indian audience, an African American. And he said, you don't know me, but I know you. I watch your videos on YouTube every single day. And I've been watching them for 6 months. In 6 months, I'm a changed person. And he came just to tell me that. Amazing. It's the knowledge. It's not the person, it's the knowledge. It's the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. And here we have it right in front of us. We don't access it. And even those who take it home with them, it remains in the library. There is no interaction with it. There is no enrichment of our personalities. So I'm making this appeal to you. Today, if you want to pay homage to your gurus, please go home and do some thinking. Expose yourself to this knowledge. I'm not saying this because I have nothing better to do. I'm saying it because it's the only thing that helped me. When I was at a loss, when I was down and out, and all of us are at some point in our lives, the only thing that helped was this knowledge. No person can help. It's only this rich wealth of knowledge that helps. And I hung on to these books and this knowledge for dear life. And it surely helped. And that's all I'm asking you to do. The Bhagavad Gita is not mine or it doesn't belong to anyone. It belongs to all of us. Vedanta belongs to all of us. So on your way out, help yourself to something. Do yourself a favor. Admit to yourself that yes, I need help. I am in sorrow. I get into bad moods. I feel insecure, so on and so forth. All of us do. But the difference is some people do something about it. Others say, I'm like this. Take it or leave it. So, how do you get out of this? Number one, have a totality view. The problem with most of us is just me all the time. And even that me, it's only this moment. What is the totality view? Take a vertical view of your own life. You know, a teenager in school or college has a first-time crush on someone, a girl. And then when it doesn't work out, she starts crying as if it's the end of the world. Haven't you seen that? And you've been through it. What are you looking at me like that for? But now when you look at it, you laugh. But at that time, it was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. What is vertical view? You take this view, which you are now able to laugh over it 30 years later, at that time, when it hits you. You understand what I'm saying? So when something hits you, when you feel bad about something, when there's a guy the other day in London who told me, if business is down. A few days back, someone, rupee is so down. Now what's happened? It's bounced back. It has to. How low will it go? It'll come up. So you have to take that vertical view. Whatever happens in life, you complain. I remember the Forex Association of India once invited me to go out to speak at their conference. And I remember distinctly all the agents, the big time agents, complaining to the RBI governor, the rupee is not fluctuating, how can we make money? Now that it's fluctuating, they're complaining that it's fluctuating. So you'll complain about something or the other. Take a vertical view and you'll understand it's just one incident in your whole life. Horizontal view. You are one among 8 billion people in the world. So what big deal are you making about it? I remember when I first took to Vedanta, I had to quit my job. It's a bitter pill to swallow, you're losing your income. The income goes down by half. I said, what is the worst that will happen? In those days, we were staying in a place where on the opposite side of the road, on the pavement, there were people living there. So worst case scenario is I'll move from one end of the road to the other. It's a big deal. We are not saying be indifferent. But when you are unaffected, you are able to think clearly, you are able to take prompt action, and you succeed. As long as you allow it to get to